Hey guys, it's Saga from TechWorks, and here is my camera review of the iPhone X, or the iPhone X if you like to call it that. Every time I get a new smartphone, I make it a point to travel extensively with it. That way, I get to test out the camera in different situations, and it also gives me a fairly good idea about the battery life that I can expect out of any given smartphone. So in the past 2 weeks that I have had the iPhone X, I have just been traveling and shot a lot of images with it. This video is sponsored by Minimal Case. They offer minimal cases for all your favorite smartphones. Just like their brand name, their cases are truly minimal. There is no branding on any of their cases, and they barely add any bulk or weight to your beautiful looking smartphone. Now before we get to the image and video samples, let's get the specifications out of the way. The camera module is a bit different than what we have seen on any iPhones before this. The orientation of the dual cameras is now vertical, and it sticks out of the back quite a bit. They went with the vertical orientation because the Face ID tag in the front notch needs a lot of space, so there wasn't enough space left to place these dual cameras in the usual horizontal position like on the iPhone 7 and 8 Plus. Out of the dual cameras, the first camera has a 28mm wide lens and the same resolution of 12 megapixel with a wide aperture of f1.8 as we saw on the iPhone 8 Plus. While the second one also retains a telephoto lens of 56mm and again has a resolution of 12 megapixel, but now gets a wider aperture of f2.4. And now both the cameras have optical image stabilization, which means you will get better images with telephoto lens even in lower lighting situations. Just like on the iPhone 8 Plus, you get portrait lighting mode, which lets you add various professional lighting effects to your shots. More on this when we take a look at the image samples. These new cameras can now capture 4K videos at 24, 30 and 60 frames per second and 1080p slow motion videos at 240 frames per second. These features are not even available in most of the high-end cameras, so having them in your smartphone is very impressive. I have said this before and I'm saying it again. I don't like that Apple buries the options to change any of these video resolutions deep in the settings app. So every time you need to shoot at a different resolution or frame rate, you have to go to settings, scroll down to the camera settings, and then make the desired changes. I think they should simplify things and let us make these changes right from within the camera app. At the front, you have a 2-depth 7-megapixel camera with an aperture of f2.2. Now let us take a look at the image and video samples from this phone. But before we get to that, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the amazing videos coming up on this channel. All the images are shot in auto mode with auto HDR turned on. The main camera is basically the same sensor that we saw on the iPhone 8 Plus, and we know that it takes amazing images. You can tell that the colors are much more saturated and vibrant than what we are used to seeing from iPhones. Apple has made some changes to its image processing algorithm, and now it adds a bit of punch to the images. This is one of the best camera that I have ever used, and looking at these results, I feel extremely confident about its performance. You can now have the Hdr mode turned on all the time, and you should actually do that. Here are images with and without the Hdr mode, and look at how good the images with the Hdr mode turned out. Dynamic range of this camera is just amazing. There are a lot of details in every image that you take, and thanks to the wide f1.8 aperture, you get amazing close-up shots. Autofocus is fast and accurate, which is very important while taking these close-up shots. Now here are few images shot with the normal and telephoto lens. The telephoto lens helps in capturing distant objects clearly. You can see from these images how much of an optical zoom it provides. Thanks to the optical stabilization on this telephoto lens, you get better, sharper images even in lower light. Wider aperture and optical stabilization on the telephoto lens means we should also get better portrait images. But honestly, I don't see a huge difference between the portrait mode images from the iPhone X and the 8 Plus, which also takes amazing shots. There is less noise in the low light portrait shots, and they look really sharp and crisp. Just like on any other phone, portrait mode might not work every single time. Sometimes it works wonders, but there are also times when it just doesn't want to focus on a particular subject, like you see in these shots. So, about the portrait lighting mode. It's in beta right now, and it is not perfect by any means. But if you take some time with the shot and get it right, you can have some really amazing looking images. As the light starts to go down, or if you are shooting under artificial lights, you can still pull off some very good shots and the noise levels are very minimal. Having optical image stabilization also helps, as it allows the sensor to capture more light, giving us sharper and much detailed images with lower noise in them. If you like taking images with the front-facing camera, the 7-megapixel sensor delivers great results in ample light. It might overexpose certain parts of the image, but if you take a moment adjusting the exposure, results are so much better. It might not be the best for taking images in lower light, but in artificial light, you can pull off some good selfies. The True Depth front-facing camera now lets you take portrait mode selfies. While it might not be as good as the portrait mode selfies from the Pixel 2 or the Pixel 2 XL, I think it delivers very good results in ample light. Coming to the video footage, the iPhone X is one of the best in its class, and the video it shoots is very stable thanks to the optical image stabilization on both the lenses. This gives me the confidence to use the telephoto camera more often while shooting videos, which I rarely used before. You can now even shoot 4K videos in 24, 30 and 60 frames per second. 240 frames per second slow motion videos in 1080p resolution are just buttery smooth. I love shooting and looking at these slow motion videos. They are so good. This is without a doubt the best camera on an iPhone yet. Thanks to the wide aperture and OIS on the telephoto lens, you can take some amazing low light and portrait shots, which was not really possible from iPhones before this. iPhone 8 Plus can also take some amazing images, but the performance of the 10 is slightly above that. But if you consider the price, you have to pay a lot more to get just a slight bump in the camera performance. If you have the money and want the absolute best camera on your smartphone, go with the iPhone X without even giving it a second thought. But if you don't care for the portrait mode on the front-facing camera, I would suggest you to consider the iPhone 8 Plus as well. I will be comparing the camera on the iPhone X with that of the iPhone 8 Plus in the next few days, and then we will see the actual difference between the performance of the two. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss that one. If you end up getting the iPhone X, don't forget to check our sponsor's website to find great ways to protect your phone without adding any bulk to it. These cases are available in 6 colors, so you can choose the one that you think looks best for your phone. Minimal Case offers cases for a lot of other smartphones, so make sure you check them out from the link in the description section. They ship worldwide, and you can use the code TW20 to get a 20% discount while placing your order. That is it for this video, guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and you can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.